Hi there, my name's Yellis, and I decided to do an introduction today about this group I've been leading. It's called Ready Steady Mums Hamptons, and this is my year-old. Her name's Grace. She's a little bit tired at the moment, aren't you, Grace? But we'll do the best we can around her. She's had a bit of fresh air in the garden this morning, a little play, so she's getting ready to have a little sleep. Okay, so the Ready Steady Mums group is led by the health visiting team, which is really great because we get to have meetings and talk about how to better the group as well, and they're really helpful with giving you new ideas and tips and how to reach out to people, which is really great. And they provide the poster as well to advertise. So the discussions and the meetings with the health visitor is to try and find ways to just better this group for you so that you get all that you need from it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself as the group leader of Ready Steady Mums Hamptons. I'm 30 years old. I'm the housewife at home. So my husband's the breadwinner. Sit down, darling. My husband's the breadwinner, which is really great because I get to focus all my energy and things like this, which I believe women have such a great role in the community. A little bit about my personality and what I'm into. So since a young child, I've always had quite high energy, needing a lot of stimulation. I'm quite active, and as getting older, I've learnt to channel that energy through something I found very positive and rewarding, which was exercise. So I like running, swimming, working out. I just get so much from it. It just helps to channel all that energy and clear all those negative vibes and just shift your focus back to where you need to be. So I get a lot from exercising. So a little bit about the group and how it came to me wanting to lead a group like this. I would say when I was before I became pregnant a few years ago, that's when I really became inspired to lead a group like this, being quite into fitness, health, and a balanced lifestyle myself. It was around the summertime, and I was running with a friend at a time, and a vision just came to me, just seeing other mums out with their prams, going for runs with their prams and on their own a lot of the time, and that's when the inspiration came to me to want to maybe lead a group like this. And so I felt very much inspired and hoping that I would have the opportunity to, and it wasn't actually until one of the meetings that I had, it was something I was thinking on and praying on, being a born-again Christian since the age of 11. And when I was actually in a meeting, actually the health visiting team walked in and asking some questions if they could promote and advertise there was a mum there leading as well, and that's how I came to know about Ready Steady Mums, and so then I actually joined the group, and then I took over from a mum that was leading that group. So yeah, that's how I came to leading Ready Steady Mums, and that was at a time when I was living in the Hamptons as well. I would say last summer I was quite successful. There was up to 9 people that came, but slowly over time, circumstances changed. Mums had to go back to work from maternity, or they started part-time work, or nap times were messing the routine. So we went down to 4, and then now we're up to there's a few of us new mums that are starting. So which is very exciting. Lovely ladies, and a very genuine, down-to-earth group. All going through the same things that all mums do. But that's just one of the reasons. There's many other reasons why I felt so inspired to do this group called Ready Steady Mums and Hamptons. This group is going viral. It's everywhere at the moment. There's a Ready Steady Mums Harrogate. It's everywhere. I mean, if you go onto the website, which is www.readysteadymums.org, you will find the actual map of where all the Ready Steady Mums leaders are, and it's actually the health visiting team that find these mums through their checks of when they've just had children, to see whether it's something they'd be interested in doing, which is think is a fantastic goal that the health visiting team are working on, because I believe very strongly that this is one of the areas that is suffering so hugely in our society today, and that is isolated mothers that are at home. They are not spreading out into the community. They are struggling to make that first step to get involved in a group. And the health visiting team are very good at providing the information when you've just had a baby, of all the support network groups that are out there. They're very good. They can redirect you, and they can give you all the information of where those places are. But then it doesn't eliminate the issue of taking that first step into these groups. I mean, 6 years ago, when I had my first child, I was very incredibly isolated because I just moved from Suffolk, away from my family, my friends, everything I knew, because my husband transferred his job and he got a promotion. So being a first-time mum with all these new changes to my body, to my hormones, all the things that I had to give up, you have an idea and you have a dream of what it would be like being a mother, because I've always liked the idea of being a mum and having a family. Since a young child, I've always had that dream and vision and of having my own family to raise one day. So the idea of it was so lovely to me, always, and something I always looked forward to. But going through the real process of being a mother, I had no idea what was coming. So some of the things I experienced was complete isolation, of taking that first step to getting involved into groups, and I would say reasons for that being fear of being judged, fear of not being accepted, fear of not being liked, and these are things mothers worry about for the first time with their children, like, am I changing the nappy right? Things that husbands and partners do not understand, which we can talk about amongst us women, that we do have that connection and understanding of all this emotional side we go through. And am I feeding my child right? And all the questions you have for the first time as a mother. And even though such a wonderful gift we have, that it still needs to be nurtured within us, and we still need to have that reassurance that we are making the right decision and what we're feeling in our hearts is right. Just because it's different to you does not make it wrong, but so it's just that support that that you're kind of lacking, that that is so important, that we all need as mothers. We have the answers within us. We know our children. We just need reassurance that we're making those right decisions. We just need that support system. And it comes back within community, which I believe is so important, that we have lost in this generation. And yes, there is very much community out there, but it's just changed. It's now online. It's now all in these work groups. And I mean, there was a time when very much the community would go to each other's homes. I mean, women, they would come to, doors would be open, you'd make your favourite, throw together your favourite meal and bring it over and have discussions, help each other with chores, hang the washing out together. And there was a real love and support system amongst women before the 70s. And men knew their role, women knew their role. There was just, we all had our bit we knew we had to focus on. And women were very much the heart of community, as I believe. And now I would say there is a lot of confusion, there is a lot of diversion, and now in this modern day, it's like we're almost just trying to find that way to adapt around this new modern way of life. I mean, I would like to read to you about some of the statistics that I found out, some of the facts which I found very, very fascinating. And it was before the 70s, before women came into the workforce. And just to say, I don't want to offend people, because I know this is not how life is anymore. I know that. And so I don't want anyone being offended by what I say. I'm just reading the facts and just trying to look in a little bit deeper to how it was and how it is now, and the things we are faced with now in society. So until the 70s, women and men's roles were very clearly defined. He is the breadwinner and she is the housewife and caretaker. Now, with divorce rates being 50%, 50% that will be ended in divorce, before this time began, there was community. Women were around each other's houses, bringing their favourite dishes, helping each other. Last meant, which we just discussed, the British government appointed a minister for loneliness. This has just recently happened. So basically there's been an issue raised in the government and about women. So it's been appointed to a minister for loneliness. There is an epidemic of isolation and disconnection in society. I honestly believe the government's, some of these reasons it's gone the way it has is because of the government's choices, and it's led to a lot of this loss of community and isolation. A recent survey of more than 2,000 mothers feel by the online networking group channel Mums found that 90% of mothers feel lonely since having children, and 54% felt friendless after giving birth. that is, to me, that is very sad. I mean, one lady said in maternity leave we could go for long walks, watch Netflix in bed, hanging out, sit on the picnic blanket with our children in the parks, but what we couldn't do was actually have a conversation. Now, my passion as a mother, and for this group, is to reach out to mums that have fallen into these patterns of loneliness, staying indoors and struggling. I'm not saying that we can change how society is. I'm not saying that at all, because the modern life and the modern way is going this way, and I haven't got the power to change that at all. And I know there is a lot of mums also that they are not struggling, and they are first-time mums. I'm not saying applying this to every first-time mums. I'm talking about just a vast majority, which is showing up on the statistic rates. There are women that have adapted to the modern way of life, and it works very well for them, and they have blended in with the new way of community, and it works for them, and they are happy. But I would say, my motive for the group, I just want to be available. I want to be available to just to build that support system for mothers again, and to help encourage to take those first steps back into independence, and just to remind mums and show mums that I've been that person, that lonely person at home, and not enjoying very much motherhood, even though that's something I very dreamt of and loved the idea of, but I had to ask those very important questions of why was I not happy? And I really believe it was the lack of community, the lack of support, and especially being a person very much needing that also. So this group is for everyone. There's no rules or restrictions to this group, and I want to make that very, very clear. It doesn't matter what ethnic background you are. It doesn't matter where you are from. It doesn't matter what religion you have and what you believe. None of that matters. We are all equal, and I want to make that very clear. That is very important, that I don't want anyone feeling, I want everyone to feel equal. I just want people to realise how essential fresh air is, getting your child out into the fresh open air. This is a very light-hearted group. It's for laughter, for friendship. It's just taking little steps out into groups, giving each other encouragement, which I believe is getting lost. And I will keep going back to that, because I can't stress how much I feel that community is being lost. And I mean, what I'm saying is, I want to speak out to some of you mums out there, and I want to say this, especially to those that are the percentage that are struggling, because I was that mum. You have nothing to feel ashamed about, okay? You are not alone. I was one of those mums. Being stuck indoors with tiredness, having to get up, and the demands that are all the new demands, and all the new change and adjustments you need to go through from this life that you once had to now this complete selfless life that you are faced with. All the hormones you are dealing with that you still go through. From up to a year after your birth, you're still going through a huge amount of hormones as well and adjusting. And you're getting to know a child. And they do say that being a mother, you sense, you just know. But really you are getting to know a new person. You are getting to know what works for this child, what doesn't. And a lot of us, we have not been conditioned with that strong centered of really trusting in your own intuition and instincts. And I believe that's one thing that community and society need to give back, and that is supporting one another and really being there, being a friend, just encouraging one another and saying you do know, just because one person is different to the other and what that child needs is different to the other. You've got the answers within you. Just trust within those answers that are already there. And that's what us as mothers need to do to each other, that we very much had in those times back in the day, that we can bring back again today, I believe. So the group is for everyone. It's a light-hearted group. There'll be times where I'll do like a little topic or discussion. I'll set up fun social groups, like we can go swimming together, go visit different places. But it's mainly to be out in the fresh air, go for a walk, and then come back, have a coffee. We meet at CSK Church at 10 a.m. I do put a time on it, 10 a.m. till 11:15, just so people don't feel pressured, because it might be a bit too much for them to stay for a little longer. But I am around, and on a Wednesday, it'll be in term times, and we meet at CSK Hampton Church. So we go for a brisk, fresh walk in the morning, and then we come back to the church and we go around your children's needs. There's nothing to worry about. Everyone counts, and everyone's needs counts. And then we come back, have a coffee and play around the creche area, just get to know one another and just be together. There's no egoicness or any of that, because I really can't stress how important it is for you to know that I'm not above you, I'm not above anyone, we are all equal, and I do not want anyone to feel that way at all. Everyone's accepted from wherever they've come from whatever they believe. There's a lot going out now on these big social groups, of a lot of story and a lot of mothers that can be very bitchy, of these big groups, and it saddens me to think how mums can be when they get together. Just a little advice to you, just always look to who is leading, because there's always one person leader, there's always one person who's responsible of all that group. And if you're not feeling good in that environment, leave, because there's something not quite right then. I know that at times when we first start going to groups, you are going to naturally feel a bit uncomfortable until you get to know one another and test the waters a little and really realise that whether these people are genuine or not. So do not be discouraged to go along just because there are a lot of bitchiness going on out there. But you do not need to be involved in it, and just move on, find another group, and don't give up. I want to stress to you to just let you know that this is a genuine group, coming from a good place and good foundations, and that will be well looked after, and it's light-hearted, nothing so serious. And I just look forward and hope that you will feel inspired by this video, and hopefully you've gained a little trust and a little insight into what we do here. I would like to give you a little bit further information about the group. So this group is called Ready Steady Mums Hamptons. I will be eventually doing a group in Yaxley too, which I'm discussing with the health visiting team previously at the moment, but I will get back to you about that. So this is a group called Get Ready to Socialise. Very fun, doesn't matter if you have a pram or not, still come along. Doesn't matter what age you are, and even if you're not a mum, just a lady that wants to get involved in the community that's at home, then please get involved. Do not wait another moment. But a little bit here I've wrote friendship, fresh air and community, because that's mainly what this group's about. And we are, so I lead the group Wednesdays term times, and we meet outside CSK Church at 10 AM to 11:15. We usually do go back for a coffee, so there is no strict end time, because I am free for most of that day, as I have other groups I go to in that day also. Here's my contact number. So my name again is Yeliz, and my number is 079 328 7066. If you're interested, you can get connected to WhatsApp. But I suggest to try out the group a few times first, to see if you like it. So that's that, and I want to show you just something that we did on our first meeting, and it's just like a little goals that we did. So they didn't write it down, we just had a little light-hearted chat about it. And I know one of my goals, what I believe is so important, is that we need all of these things as mothers to feel complete. We need our mind, productiveness and chores. We need to be able to get on with all those things, get jobs done, body, exercise, what are we doing in our daily habits, and what are we eating, are we drinking enough fluids, are we getting out in the fresh air enough. Spirit, this is, I believe, is the most important thing, and it's linked to all the others too, but spirit is so important. I believe getting out into nature is very spiritual. I believe movement, meditating, even stillness, praying. I mean, I pray every day, and like I said earlier, I became a born again Christian at the age of 11, and it changed my complete world. So I have a connection, and I have a routine of praying every day, and this really helps me to center myself, and it's given me so many qualities and coping mechanisms into my everyday life. So I mean, you might find a lady said yoga that she does, and going out for walks and praying. And overall goal for 2019, we've said do not give up. That was one of my goals, because especially as I'm trying to pass my driving test at the moment, so the girls have been a very good support system for that, and which I thank them for. Trust in myself, that was one of the ladies, patience with children, get confidence to get involved in groups. So in the mind, get organised, and less perfectionism was one of them. So yeah, those are just some of the things that we do now and again, but most of the time it is just free flow. We'll just go for a nice fresh brisk walk. I try to change up the walks a little bit as well. Be nice to, and I'm also in the midst of setting up a social get together with just the mums in the evening. Hopefully the dads can have the kids while we can all just get together and first find out what you like doing in your spare time. So there are always lots of things going on. Please sign up to on Facebook. It's called Ready Steady Mums Hamptons. You'll see all the pictures, the posts, and I put some of my own quotes on there too. Also, I put some of my poetry on there for inspiration. So please get connected on Facebook, and hopefully eventually you can get connected on WhatsApp. I hope you found today encouraging. I hope you found it I hope it's given you confidence to take that step to get involved. What's so great about doing this video now is because we are literally just a starting group. We are so small. So if there is any time to get involved, now is the time. We've got that time with a small group just to build, get to know each other, and build the group together and take it from there. So I think I've mentioned everything now, and I really do hope that I get to meet you soon. So again, my name's Yellis, and this is for the Ready Steady Mums Hamptons group. Do get connected if you're interested in the group. I will be posting other YouTube video clips also. So have a good day. Bye.